I decided to do a review of the Addies military style luminous watch. Saw a lot of videos on the web that all seemed like paid advertisements. Didn't really tell me what I wanted to know about the watch, so thought I'd give you some insight. I've had the watch for 7 months now. Wanted to go through some of the pros and cons. As a timekeeping piece, it's fine. Doesn't lose any time. I've had it for 7 months, hasn't lost a single minute. It's easy to see during the day, not so much at night. I'll get into that. The month is a little small. It's very fine print. You have to have just the right angle with no glare in order to see what day of the month it is, but it does work as expected. It doesn't have a perpetual calendar, so if your month is less than 31 days, just be prepared to reset the month at the end of the month, or the date at the end of the month. Waterproof. I've worn it in the shower dozens of times. No hint of water or moisture under the lens or under the crystal. I've probably dunked it in up to my elbow. Haven't gone any deeper than that. It's not a dive watch, so I'm sure it's not waterproof very deep into the water. But for my purposes, it works great. It's extremely durable. I don't know if you can tell here, but there's really no scratches on the watch at all, and I've banged this on all kinds of DIY projects. And like I said, there's not a single scratch on the metal case, so I'm very impressed with the durability. It's banged on metal, steel, brick, you name it. The only two cons, like I said, I bought it with the metal band. The metal band lengths are pretty wide. The other watches that I own have half lengths in them, so you have more adjustability on the band itself. This one does not, so they're wide bands. You take one link out, it's too tight, put one in, it's too loose. So ended up buying this silicone watch band off of Amazon. I just like it better. It's got a little bit more stretch to it, and so I can put it on my wrist. It's a lot more comfortable. Also reduces a lot of weight. This is a very, very heavy watch with this metal band. So that took a lot of the weight off. So one of the reasons I bought the watch is I was looking for something that would be readable at night if I went camping. But unfortunately, this one disappoints, and I'll show you why in a minute. Basically, the advertisements say that it is, I think they called it luminous crystal tubes, implying that it's tritium, but it is definitely not. It is just a luminescent tube. Extremely bright for the first, I'll say, 2 minutes, and then it starts to dim quickly. And by the time it gets to 30 minutes, you can barely make out the minute hand, really can't make out the hour hand. And by the 1 hour mark, pretty much the same. By the 2 hour mark, you really can't read the watch anymore. So I would say for all intents and purposes, it's legible up to about an hour after dark. Beyond that, you can't read it. In contrast, my Citizen watches, they're good for at least 24 hours in pure darkness before they really can't be read anymore. So in terms of a night watch, this one will not do it for you. So here's the packaging that arrived today via USPS mail. It was air freighted, air shipped over from China. Gonna go ahead and open the package. Okay, the watch came wrapped in this styrofoam package here. It's in a bag, looks to be relatively intact. And here's the contents of the bag. There's a little tool, looks like a push pin to push the pins out in the band for adjustment. It's hard to tell, but the entire watch is actually shrink wrapped. So I'm going to go ahead and undo the shrink wrap. Okay, I've taken the watch out, and first thing I notice is it's a very heavy watch. It is quite large, relatively thick, as you can see here. I don't know how much of the weight is coming from the band, but it does feel like a fairly heavy band. I'll probably end up replacing the band with a polyurethane band. It does look like a nice band. I don't know how the finish will hold up, but I'll probably wear it around for a while before I swap bands just to see. The dial does rotate. It's not the greatest rotation, but it does rotate. Okay, I used a LED flashlight. I did notice that the green, after holding a light up against the face of the watch for just a few seconds, the green immediately starts to glow. However, the blue did not glow at all, so I left it on for about a minute, and now, if you can see, there's a very faint blue glow from the 12 o'clock position. But the other thing I noticed is that the green starts to fade within 30 seconds. I think I'm going to take it outside and let it charge up in the daylight and see if that provides any better longevity to the glow. Okay, I held it out in sunlight for about a minute, brought it into a completely dark room a few minutes ago. It's probably been in here for about 2 minutes, and the watch face is actually glowing quite nicely. In this video, it's actually glowing brighter than it shows on my camera screen, but you can see a nice glow from the green as well as the blue at the 12 o'clock position. Okay, here's the watch about 30 minutes later. You can see that there's just a faint glow from the large dot above the 12 o'clock. Hard to tell in the video, but I can see a very faint glow on the crystals at each hour marker, but it's definitely diminished. Here's the watch sitting side by side with two Citizen watches I have. Just wanted to compare the brightness of the dials in darkness.